Hi, I'm State Senator Terri Bonoff. I wanted to start by saying congratulations to the U of M Way to Go men's basketball team. Won the NIT. So we have had a long week at the Capitol. Last night we were here till close to midnight. We didn't finish the finance bill. I know that it's probably not that interesting to talk about process, but in this case I just have to do it one more time. So where we are in the session is today is the third deadline, which means all finance bills have to be passed out of committee and ready to be heard on the floor. Well, just 2 days ago, we learned that what we call our, quote, tails target, which means money that carries over into the next biennium, had to be significantly cut. There had been an agreement reached that we were going to achieve a certain amount of funding in the tails, and that amount was different than all of the different budget divisions had passed their bills with coming out of committees. And so in case of higher ed, for example, where that was my chief responsibility, we had planned to help MnSCU with a problem they had in terms of after we froze their tuition and they had a hole in their ongoing spending. We put forward $17 million this year, and that rolled into $34 million ongoing. When we got the new tails target, that 34 cut. And I didn't find out till just before presenting the bill. That made things pretty difficult. We really wrestled with that in committee. There was a lot of wrangling, trying to find a way not to have that be the result. I'm not going to give up on that, but it passed out of the finance committee without that money for MnSCU. And as you can imagine, MnSCU was pretty surprised and disappointed. But it wasn't just my committee where that happened. It was really in every single budget division. Another one I'll highlight was the E12 division, where some people thought we were funding an increase for English language learners, and that wasn't proposed in the budget. So because of that, the hearing went long. It was contentious, and after session today, we'll be back at it, and unfortunately, we'll probably go late into the evening. Next week, when you see the finance bill on the floor, you'll find out how it all turned out. The other thing I wanted to mention was yesterday we passed the Safe Schools and Supportive Act, as it's called, which is better known as the bullying bill. I am supportive of that in principle and did vote for the bill. There had been provisions within the bill that weren't to my liking that I worked very hard to change and shape, and was pleased that on the Senate floor in a bipartisan way we came together and made many of those changes. We made sure that if you were accused of being a bully, that you had a chance to defend yourself. That was something people had complained about. We also made sure that this new, quote, climate center, which is now called the Technical Assistance Center, didn't have a regulatory charter or really was not there to be so-called an oversight body. I would have preferred not even to have that, but I didn't carry the day on that amendment. The other thing that we strengthened was the parental notification. I would have liked to see it an absolute, saying that anytime your child is disciplined, a parent should be notified. We heard from superintendents and school administrators that there are some cases where that's not in the best interest of children. And so instead in the bill it says a presumption of parental notification. Well, anyways, I don't usually go into so much detail in these, but I thought those were things that you'd like to hear about. Stay tuned. Next week will be the final week before we take our break, and then I predict we'll come back to the bonding bill and wrap up pretty quickly.